Blokees lied to us. It's right there on the box. It says no tools, no glue needed. And technically that's true. I didn't use either to build this Peni Parker figure, but trust me, you'll wish you had some on hand. Still, this is probably the best Peni Parker figure of 2026. Let's build it and talk about what it does right and where things fall apart. My name is Danny. Welcome to Variant Coverage. Peni Parker has gained a ton of popularity lately since the Spider-Verse movies, but also mainly from Marvel Rivals, and I should know, my girlfriend is a Peni Parker main, and that's precisely why I made this video. I attended Heroes Con a few weeks ago and picked up this Blokees Champion Class Marvel Rivals Peni Parker Spider Suit model kit for about $25, and that's only a few dollars off retail, which is $27.99, but factor in the shipping you'd normally pay, and that's a pretty solid deal. The kit includes 177 pieces, and if you're not familiar with model kits, they come cast or sometimes printed on frames, and you snap the pieces out and put them together, which for this figure took us about an hour and a half. The box claims that no tools and no glue are needed for this build, and while that's technically true, I'd recommend picking up some tweezers and model glue. Be careful if you decide to use glue though, and make sure not to apply it to any articulated parts that need to move. Segueing off of that, this fully built figure features 77 points of articulation, and that's pretty decent once you factor in the awkward proportions of this character in particular. Considering there aren't many Peni Parker figures out there at all, I'd say this is a pretty solid pickup for any enthusiasts. 5 out of 5 spider nests for collector appeal. At the $27.99 price point, the 177 pieces you're getting include everything you need to build the spider suit, the shoulder cannons, the spider arms, and there's a light up feature piece in the chest. Plus there's an unpainted, unarticulated statue of Peni Parker herself, which is kind of a bummer. You also get a display stand for the statue and an instruction booklet. It's worth noting that some folks online have custom painted their Peni statues, and they turned out pretty incredible. I'm definitely thinking about doing the same for mine. Overall, the model kit leaves some things on the table for sure. A spider nest accessory immediately comes to mind, and maybe some web effects too. And the elephant in the room, the unarticulated Peni statue. I mean, come on. We'd all probably pay $20 alone for another articulated Peni figure, but that leads me to my point exactly. For less than $30, you're getting a solid suit, a cool statue, and a fun build process. 4 out of 5 spider nests for value. As I said before, this was my first time building a Blokees kit, and it's my first time using a model kit since like middle school, unless you count Legos, in which case it's been a couple of years since I built the X-Wing. My girlfriend and I worked on building the kit for about an hour and a half, and honestly the instructions were a little hard to read at first, but they clicked pretty quickly. It's laid out so one person can work on one leg and one person can work on one arm, and you just put everything together when you're all done. That made it a genuinely fun date night experience and something I'd love to do again. Just grab a big bowl of popcorn, throw on some random 2-hour YouTube video, and you're golden. It was around this point that I noticed that some of the pieces on the figure are a little loose or fragile like Legos, and the glue would have made our lives a lot easier. Again, don't apply any glue to the articulated points. There's no need to limit this thing any more than it already is. Overall, I'd give it 4 out of 5 spider nests for build quality. The sculpting is really where this figure blows me away. It's so accurate to the game, and all the pieces move so you can put her in all the positions you need. Even the Peni statue that comes with it is super clean and accurate. It just doesn't move at all. 5 out of 5 spider nests for sculpt. Paint is kind of a loaded topic. For the spider suit itself, the paint is really solid. There's no chipping, no bleeding, nothing like that. Though it would have been nice to get a little more detail here and there, especially on the red coloring. It loses some depth from a distance without any gradient or outlining, and obviously the statue doesn't have a single drop of paint on it. What's there is good, what's not there would have been great. 3 out of 5 spider nests for paint. I wasn't sure what to expect going into this from an articulation standpoint. My first model kit, and it's a hefty, clunky, spider-infused mech suit. But holding the final product in my hand, I can safely say that my expectations were surpassed. Now, nothing about this articulation is necessarily outstanding. The head doesn't move much, the legs hardly let you crouch at all, and the torso section is pretty limited across the board. But everything else here is solid. The feet and toes move enough for good placement when you're posing, the arms are decent and cover most of your crucial movement, and the shoulder cannons can point in just about any direction. The real star of the show here is the spider arms on the back. All 4 of them can extend from just about any angle. I just wish they were strong enough to hold up the suit the same way the Iron Spider and Superior Spider-Man figures do. I'll give it 3 out of 5 spider nests for articulation. Blokees has steadily been churning out Marvel Rivals kits over the last several months. They've already released Peni, Venom, Rocket Raccoon, Spider-Man, and their newest releases were Jeff the Landshark and Invisible Woman, who I'll probably end up grabbing pretty soon. They've also released figures for Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man from their Infinity Saga wave, and figures for Deadpool and Wolverine from their standalone movie. I'm expecting Blokees to continue rolling out a lot of the Marvel Rivals roster, and I'm excited to see which of the other fan favorites they decide to drop. I mentioned earlier that Peni doesn't have much representation in the figure market, and I mean it. There's this Blokees kit, there's a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure, and there's a Spider-Verse figure from a company called Sentinel that's just way out of my budget. Plus, the Rivals design is just so much sleeker, and if you're looking for a solid, scalable spider suit to put in with your other figures for an affordable price, this is really your only option. And it's not a bad one. I just would have loved some accessories and some paint on Peni. This was honestly a lot for me to chew on. First model kit, first Blokees figure, first Rivals figure, and my girlfriend's first figure ever. But at the end of the day, we're both happy with this one. It leaves some things on the table, for sure, but for the price, I'm content. 8 out of 10 spider nests overall. If something comes along in the next few years for $10 or $20 more that features some better accessories and maybe an articulated or at least painted Peni Parker, it's got a good chance of stealing the spotlight. But for now, I can safely recommend the Blokees Champion Class Marvel Rivals Peni Parker model kit as the best bang for your buck value for Peni that the superhero action figure market currently has to offer. My name is Danny, this has been Variant Coverage, thanks for watching.